everyone. Welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision in HO scale. My name's Daryl Kruse, owner, operator, and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 36 of season 2022. Thanks so much for joining us in another update. This week was a little bit slow. Didn't get a ton of work done, but I did do some finishing work on the extension that we did last week. We added on 16 feet here along this wall for the town of Granger. So I had some time to not only add the signals, but also do some wiring. And you can kind of see under the layout some of the wires that I did. I installed all 4 tortoise turnout motors for the Granger control point. You can see I have them here in place and wired. And they are connected to the SE8C via a ribbon cable. And the ribbon cable goes down to the circuit board right there. That's the SE8C. You can see it's the ribbon cable on the left, and it just goes to a bunch of wires. It's my typical messy wiring system, but it is nice using the ribbon cable because it keeps the 10 wires together. And so we can power all 4 turnout motors, which takes 8 of those wires. Not sure what I'll use the other 2 for. Although there will be another turnout, so I'll probably use it for that. Here you can see that I made the fascia about 3 inches here, which is wider than normal, mainly so that I could hide the turnout motors. I realized I have to tape that up yet, which I did do after this video was taken. But here you can see it goes back narrower again, but right where the turnouts are, you can't see the turnouts because the fascia is a little bit thicker. All right, I also made some changes in the buildings. Was going to use this building here, which is a Walthers kit, and decided to put it here on the West Vaco trona mine and processing plant, mainly because when it's at Wholesome, it's so tall that you can't see the top of it because of the upper level. So I'm moving it here, so it's going to be part of the processing plant here at West Vaco. So you have the co-loader there. There'll be some conveyors going back and forth. There will probably be another type of loading facility, and then of course storage tanks and all kinds of machinery and piping for the processing. Here you can see some of the wiring and kind of see how it all came together. Now I also added a cable here. This is 10 inches from the edge of the layout, and put that in for a support. So I was able to remove the temporary support that was underneath this level and just used a steel cable. Let's call it a wire rope, I guess. And it's 3/32 in thickness, which is plenty of strength to provide the support. So that one support provides enough stability equal to the support that I had underneath it temporarily. I may add one here down at this end, and then definitely down at the other end. Now this last week I did install the signals. These are Atlas signals. Got these through Lombard Hobbies for $32 each. I really like these. They're nice looking. They're not as finely detailed as a Details West, but I like the modern part of the ladder with the kind of like safety cages that the workers would stand in. But as far as details go, they're not quite as finely detailed as a Details West. Now, as far as the cable goes, I'm going to hide it with buildings or possibly trees. I'm going to paint it to match the background. Here you can see a comparison with the details west signals. The main difference is the size of the poles and then the detail on the back of the signals, the housing of the lights themselves. You can see the Atlas is fairly clunky compared to the details way west, which are much more finely detailed. But I still like these signals. I think they'll work well here for Granger. I use Atlas signals for the Westvaco control point, which you can see here. I'm not too worried about the details here because they're far enough away that's not really an issue. The ones at Granger, you will be able to see those up close, but I think they're going to be fine. I have one more control point to do at Aspen, and I do have 4 more details west signals that I'm going to use there. And then I have 2 more Atlas signals that I'm going to be using for the track going into the helix from the 2nd level into the helix. So I'm going to put a couple signals there to control traffic into the helix. Alright, so that's pretty much all I got done this week. I was busy doing a bunch of other things, but it's always nice to get something done. I am going to be working next on the curves above Devil Slide and the Taggart Mountains and the Taggart Tunnels. Only have about 55 feet left to go, so we're definitely coming down the stretch. Alright, here we see a coal train coming on the 2nd level. It's from Green River heading west towards Ogden, and it's headed up by Athern SD70ACE and also Athern ES44 GEVO, and it's pulling about 38 coal cars, and there is a DPU at the end. Here it's coming through Westvaco. And then heading into the curves above the Echo Canyon, which is on the lower level. This upper level is basically the Wyoming plateau. So the Evanston sub goes from Ogden up to Evanston, and that is a pretty steep climb through some pretty serious beautiful scenery, the Weber River Valley and Canyon, and also Echo Canyon. And then from Evanston Yard it goes up even, for Evanston it goes up even further to the Aspen Tunnels. But then from the Aspen Tunnels it's basically a high plateau from the Evanston Tunnels to Green River. So that's what this upper level mostly represents, is that high plateau. So not a lot of mountains or scenery. There will be some, but it's just basically going to be some pretty straight running with some curves here and there. You saw the signal there, by the way, knocking down to red, and we're coming through the town of Granger. And I am going to add one more turnout here right after this signal. There's going to be a turnout going to the right here, and then that's going to be Pocatello sub, which runs to the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to be having some operations here also at Granger, where we'll have some trains coming into the Evanston sub from the Pocatello sub, and then also trains going from the Evanston sub into the Pocatello sub. So we'll be sharing a little bit more of that as we go on. There is a Y here at Granger, but not going to be able to do the complete Y, just not enough width here to take care of that. There you can see the DPU for this coal train. Alright, we're going to do one more train. This is an auto rack train headed up by a couple of scale trains. Locomotives. This is pretty much a scale trains train. You got 2 locomotives leading a ET44 Tier 4 GEVO. Actually, they both are Tier 4 GEVOs. First one's UP, second one's CSX. Again, going along the high plateau of Wyoming, coming up upon the West Vaco control point. As you can see from the signals, it's crossing over here due to the first train we ran, which is on the number 1 track. Now you can see it's kind of skipped ahead here because I had to walk around the peninsula to get to this end. Gonna need to do some kind of extra lighting here. There's a little bit of a shadow behind this building. So I have to do some thinking about how to deal with that. Lots of covered hoppers here. It'll basically be empties in and loads out of soda ash. So these are not only scale trains locomotives, but I'm pretty sure all these cars, all these auto racks are also by scale trains. Definitely looks pretty cool coming around these curves. Right here, it's up to the coal train. It's on track 2. I'm going to be doing some rearranging of lights also here. With the second level, you can see the spotlight is kind of shining on that one area. So I'm going to be removing some of the spotlights and adding fluorescent, I should say LED light strips or lighting tubes. Alright, we have a green here, which really isn't true since it ends after this control point, but the computer doesn't know that. So it gives it a green and knocks it down to red. There you can see the DPU at the end of the auto rack. I'm pretty sure that's an Athearn back there. I really was pretty happy with the way the cable thing worked out. I think it's going to be pretty easy to camouflage. Alright, so here we are at the end of the run. So a little bit of a short video. I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like this video and comment and share it with your friends. Please become a member if you are so moved. But most of all, just have fun with model railroading and have a great week. Take care, everybody.